From the CSI Today news desk at the College of Staten Island, welcome to the CSI Today Talks podcast with your hosts, David Pizzuto and Terry Mayes. The CSI Today Talks podcast is your connection to the College of Staten Island with the newsmakers that make it happen. From world-renowned faculty and staff, dynamic students, and community leaders, stay connected to CSI with CSI Today Talks. And now, here is your host, David Pizzuto.
Welcome, everyone, to CSI Today Talks right here on csitoday.com or from wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. I am your co-host, David Pizzuto, welcoming you into another exciting edition here of the podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 7, as we debut our show on Monday, October 23rd of 2023, our next to last episode in the month of October. Back after a 2-week break. Last week we did not have a show, and Terry will be back with you next week. Terry was on vacation, and as we kind of turn our attention now to the second half of the fall semester here at the College of Staten Island, it's kind of hard to imagine that we're just about half done with this semester here, but we have a great conversation lined up with Emily Albano this week, who student athlete, women's soccer team. They are knee-deep into their season right now. In fact, they're approaching the home stretch of their season, looking forward to the ECC playoffs, and we hope that's in the cards for Emily and her team. And before we get to Emily, we just want to go over some housekeeping that we usually do here on the show. If you have not already, please, from wherever you are listening to this podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any other entity, please hit the subscribe button. Lets us know that you are listening, and of course, lets us know that we are where we are being listened to, so it helps us out a great deal. So please do that for us. And also on our website, csitoday.com, please be sure to subscribe. On the right-hand toolbar when you go on our website, there's a chance for you to subscribe. And when you do, you get exclusive access to CSI Today This Week, which is our weekly newsletter that gets you caught up with everything going on at the college. Of course, the upcoming and latest events that are going on, and of course, this podcast and all of our archived episodes as well. So please do that as well. Once again, my guest for this edition of the podcast, Season 3, Episode 7, is none other than CSI student athlete. She is a junior at the College of Staten Island. Emily Albano joins us now over the phone. Emily, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, anytime. So, Emily, I talked a little bit about you in the opening of the show. Of course, you are a Dolphin, true and true, as a member of the women's soccer team, a Verrazano student at CSI in your junior year. But I'd like to start with our audience getting to know a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about you, growing up, playing sports. I'm guessing on Staten Island for most of your life?
Yes, I've been playing sports. Well, I've been playing soccer since the age of 2. My mom put me in a little rec league at St. Teresa's Church, and I fell in love with it from day one, and I stuck with it ever since. We tried other things like basketball and softball, but nothing clicked as well as soccer did.
Awesome. Do you come from a sports family in general?
My mom played soccer in high school and had a pretty good career. She played at Port Richmond.
Oh, wow.
My dad wasn't as big into sports, but did like it. So it was just really my parents wanted me to get out there and have a different type of experience than just the school one.
Great. And you had mentioned that you had tried other sports, but you just fell in love immediately with soccer. What was it about soccer? What is it about the sport that you were just drawn to?
It's the competition in it is unlike anything else. For some reason, every other sport I've played, I get so nervous right before. Mm-hmm. And right before a soccer game, there's no place I'd rather be. I feel so calm and at peace. So there's something just so beautiful about stepping out on the field before a game. And it really is just something amazing that I hope every athlete gets to feel in their sport.
Awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, you went to Susan Wagner High School, correct?
Yes, I played 4 years of varsity soccer at Susan Wagner.
Awesome. So shout out to Susan Wagner. That's also my alma mater. So I'm always thankful to speak to recent grads. And, I guess that's a good segue to asking about, when did CSI kind of register for you? Were you recruited as a soccer player? Were any of the programs standing out for you? Was it the college in your own backyard? Why CSI for you?
For me, when I was starting to look at colleges, COVID had hit, so it was really
Right.
hard to go in and physically view schools because nobody was having on-campus tours anymore, so everything was done virtually. So it was a very different experience than what all the upperclassmen I had spoken to had given me, the information they had given me. So I had known Jackie Bruno, who was the coach at the time. She had trained me a couple years prior, and so had Alex Cuba, his brother, had also trained me, who was the men's head soccer coach. So I knew staff within CSI, and they absolutely loved me. I loved them, and they loved me. They wanted me to be such a big member of this team, and no other school made me feel as at home as CSI did. They really welcomed me with open arms and showed me how it's so much more than just a community, it's a family. And for me, CSI has been a place I've been on my entire life. When you're a kid and you're playing soccer at a low level and starting to play a travel, CSI is where you go to practice. So to go and play there at the collegiate level was kind of like an alternate like dream that I had, because you've watched people growing up your entire life play here and then you get to be a member of it. It was a dream come true, to be honest.
That's a great story, a really great story. And for those people that don't know, Jackie Bruno, our former coach, who never did get to coach at the college because she was hired right after one of our seasons was over, and then COVID hit, so that season got wiped out. And you never did really get to take the field with her as well. And the team has been through a couple of coaches changes since, correct?
Yes, it has been. After Jackie Bruno came Brendan Guzman, who was our head coach for 2 years. Brendan left us last winter, and then came in Alex Mendolia, who is now our head coach of the women's soccer program. And every coach has brought a new perspective, but I truly have to say I love Coach Alex and what he brings to this team.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's, some people would say, wow, that's a lot of coaches for a single career, but really you're getting a taste of everybody's kind of styles and their knowledge that they're trying to impart to you. So that's great that you're having a good time with Alex at the helm now. And I'm glad you mentioned COVID, Emily, as well, because some people might forget, you came to CSI in 2021. So your senior year in high school was really kind of knocked out, which must have been so tough as an athlete and as a senior, and CSI was only just working its way back, to in-person schooling and athletics by the time you came here, but still not all the way back as it is now. Has it kind of normalized yet for you at this point, physically, mentally, and all that comes with being a student athlete?
I think it has started. I think the experience that I have now seems like the reality. I never got to experience what it was like being a student athlete at the collegiate level before COVID. I'm that first class of post-COVID.
Right.
So my experience is all I know. But I feel that the experience I had has helped me grow and really power through hard moments, because my freshman year you were restricted on where you could sit on the bus, and you had to get COVID tests constantly, and you were wearing masks to practice and to treatment. It was a lot as a student athlete to be put through all this on top of just all the other things going on in your life. You had to worry about all these rules and regulations put in by the NCAA. But I feel as time goes on and as those rules slowly got lifted, and now we don't even need a COVID pass to get into school anymore.
Right.
It's all just become a one big reality. It doesn't seem as strange because that's all I ever knew. But not having those regulations and rules anymore is truly a blessing as an athlete, because I can compare it now and say how much easier it is to be a student athlete without the COVID rules.
Sure. And for a sport like soccer too, you have to be, physically on, right? To really be good at it and to really keep up. And, COVID, I mean, I'm sure people were doing things on their own, you included, but very limiting in terms of like your physical preparation for the game as well. And I'm assuming that, that's kind of back for you now that you're able to get out there every single day, be shoulder to shoulder with your teammates. Physically, how does it feel? Are you, physically at your peak now in your junior year?
I would say every year I definitely risen to the occasion.
Mhm.
It was very hard coming in freshman year because you didn't know what you were getting yourself into, and it was so hard to, like you said, train because you weren't really allowed to be with people, and it's really important to have a partner just playing. You don't need the full 11, you just need one other person, and to not even have that one person made it very difficult. So every year coming, I feel like I've just improved as a player, increased my training, increased my speed, endurance, technique every year, helping me be better at the game.
Mm.
So I feel after comparing from what COVID was to where I am now, I think there's been a huge jump in my abilities.
Awesome, awesome. And I know I kind of know what I think the answer to this question is going to be, and it's probably your mind was made up early. But I was reading an interesting statistic about high school students who decide to play at the next level in college, and it's something like only 8 or 9% nationwide of student athletes who play a sport in high school go on and play in college. It was such a low number that it kind of took me by surprise a little bit. And so I wanted to ask you, soccer being such a tough sport and having to be conditioned basically 365 days a year, it's tough on the body, and the sport itself, it gets harder and harder as you get older competitively. At what point did you say to yourself, you know what? I love soccer. I'm pretty good at this. I'm going to do it for the longer haul and pursue it in college.
Um, I think when I was a eighth grader and I was getting ready to go to high school and I was looking at, oh my God, I have to go and try out for a new team that wasn't travel. I was going to try out for a team with such an amazing record. Wagner High School has hold island champs for so many years, over a decade. And I was thinking to myself, I'm bringing myself into a program. And it was the first time I felt truly challenged. And thought to myself, well, what if I don't make it? And then something came over. I was like, well, I have to. There's nothing without soccer. I love this sport more than anything, and there's no way I'm not going to do it. And I started thinking about, and I'm going to play high school for 4 years, and then I'm going to go play college for 4 years, and then who says that I have to stop after that? So there was something in little middle school Emily that was just like, yep, this is going to be a part of my life for as long as I can possibly hold on to it, because I couldn't imagine without it, because it just brought me so much joy and so much serotonin. I almost needed soccer in my life.
Oh, that's great to hear. Truly great. And Emily, obviously soccer works in the background of your academic pursuits and portfolio. Tell me a little bit about, what you're studying, some of the coursework you have as you're coming down now on the second half of your college studies here at CSI, and as you really start to focus in on your major now.
So I am technically a junior here at the College of Staten Island, majoring in business management with minors in finance and marketing. However, I will be graduating with my bachelor's in the fall because I was able to quickly complete my bachelor's degree and then starting the master's program as well.
Wow.
I'll be starting a master's program in business strategic management here at CSI. And it's been truly a blessing to get such a nice education. I have had such amazing support from my professors. Everybody that I went to, I go in on the first day of school and I introduce myself. And I say, hi, I'm Emily Albano. I'm a student athlete here at the College of Staten Island. And every single one of them is in awe that I even do this. They think, oh my goodness, you dedicate so much time. They want to work with me. They want to make sure that I'm not overwhelmed with classwork, because there's days where you're traveling and you're missing class for games. And I've just been so lucky to have such an amazing set of professors over these past 3 years at CSI. Everybody's been so supportive, especially my advisors. I'm in the Verrazano program here at CSI as well. And my advisor, Cheryl, has been so amazing, making sure that my schedule is well with everything that I have to, all the hours that I have to balance, and constantly helping me get connections with former athletes, alumni of the program. CSI has truly been an amazing asset in my academic career.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm going to ask you a little bit about the Verrazano program in just a bit, but I was just going to say, to graduate in 3 years, people will want to know what the secrets are, and I think you shared a couple of them, but I would assume, Emily, that at some point you're kind of packing in the credits, correct? And how do you kind of manage the practices, the travel, the actual playing the game, staying conditioned even during your off season, allowing yourself, some study time, obviously class time as well. What's the strategies for success there?
For me, I think it's really difficult to balance athletics and school and just family because I am a commuter student, so I am home with my family, and that's very important to me is being there for my younger sister and witnessing her high school experience. So I always make sure that I look at the week in advance and try to plan out the hours that I have free that I can dedicate to something else that brings more joy. I'm so lucky to be able to do soccer 4 to 5 hours a day with practice and then additional training on the side. And then I make sure that I'm in my classes, but I always make sure that if there's a free hour, that I'm utilizing it. I don't like to just sit around and waste time in my eyes. I'd rather go out and make a memory with somebody that means something to me or go out and do something that's going to bring me joy in my day to make sure that I'm mentally good during the season.
Great. I'm glad you mentioned that too, because, some of the big misconceptions that I'm aware of, Emily, and it's not just at CSI, but it's really everywhere, is how sports might disrupt educational pursuits. People will argue that it can be too much on students, that students have to miss classes, so they're naturally going to struggle. But I'm always so in awe and always have been by how powerful athletes are in the classroom. And CSI has always been a really strong scholar athlete institution, not just a student athlete institution. What are some of the things that you kind of learn on the field of play growing up and here in college that actually help and enhance the work that you do in the classroom?
I think one of the biggest things that I ever received from soccer is communication. You don't realize how important it is to communicate with your teammates on and off the field, to communicate with your staff about not just what's going on during the game, but your emotions afterwards. And I've been able to take that knowledge and use it in the classroom, advocating for my mental health during times of hard studying, during midterms, making sure that I'm taking care of myself with my professors and just communicating with my classmates. If I miss work, making connections that, oh, somebody can send me the notes, or I know somebody that can help me review. I think communication is one of the biggest things I've ever been able to take out of sports.
Awesome. It's amazing how powerful that learning community is in athletics. And you also have another one too. You mentioned it earlier, the Verrazano program. For those out there who maybe are unfamiliar with the Verrazano program, tell us a little bit about that community and what the program is about and what it means to you.
The Verrazano program is an honors program within CSI that you have to apply for when you're a freshman, and they only take a finite amount of students. I want to say it's like 100, 150. I could be wrong. Okay. But it's a small knit community because of how small the class is. But the staff really make sure that you're engaged within your community. They're constantly hosting velas and community service that you have to complete to make you interact with other people in your class. I have met some people from CSI that I don't think I would ever cross the same sidewalk with. People that are in a complete opposite major that we get to come together and go and better society in a way, whether it's volunteering for a shelter or going out and experiencing different forms of art. They've taken us to the Met and to Battery Park. They help you engage with your peers while holding you to a special academic status.
Awesome. Really great. Now, getting back a little bit to athletics side of the house, Emily, the hot topic at CSI last few years, of course, is Division II. CSI is still relatively new to the landscape, and you guys are definitely building your program, not just the team, but the overall athletic department itself is growing. Tell us what that's like, being a part of something that is so new, so brand new and developing, and kind of being a part of that foundation. Tell me a little bit about that role that you're playing as an athlete here.
To be the first few years of Division II is absolutely incredible. I've been able to witness how the athletics department is changing themselves over to make themselves better for us. They want the absolute best for the athletes because we are being held at such a high level. I'm seeing students come from all different parts of the world because they want to be a part of Division II. We have a girl from Germany, from the Netherlands on our team, from Canada. A school that used to be known as a community college has become so much more. And it's absolutely amazing to be able to witness. And I'm so excited and proud to say that I'm one of the first members of it because I hope when people get to look back at the success of CSI that our names come up because we were the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. When I worked in athletics, I would always use the term first is forever because, many will come and go, but when you're the first to do something, there's something really special about that. So congratulations for that. And, tell us a little bit about the team. Now this is year 3 for you. So tell me a little bit about how that progression is going, the kind of, the style of soccer that you like to play and really how the season has been going so far for you.
Well, personally, I've been having a really great season. At the beginning of the summer, well, at the end of our preseason, my team voted me and 3 of my fellow teammates as captains to lead us on during the season. Nadia Evola, Megan Marr, and Jackie D'Amico. And it's been an absolute honor to lead these girls. We have had a rough past 2 years where we didn't get the results we wanted, but we were slowly growing. And this year, if you look at our stats compared to last year, it's absolutely incredible. We just hit our first 10 conference goals and we're in the prospects to make it to playoffs.
Yeah.
It's insane to say that a school that came bottom of the table my freshman year is now top 5. It's so great. And it's all thanks to the hard work that the girls put on the field. So many girls staying after practice to work, making sure that everything is perfect down from a set piece to kickoff. Everybody wants to win. We're all on the same page, and you can feel it when you're together.
Awesome. Yeah, and there are many games, especially when you're playing here at home, that I have CSI Sportsnet on my computer in the office. I have a television in my office too, and I'm watching your team and the men's team as well. And it's great to see that progression and to see the wins coming in and the fact that you're enjoying yourself while it's all happening. And I'll ask you, especially with the Division II landscape, it's really all you've known since you've been here. But as far as the level of competition, Emily, was it what you thought or what you expected coming in? From Susan Wagner, understanding that you had that COVID landscape as well, but as far as your expectations for the talent that you're seeing regionally, how is it stacking up for you?
I knew it was always going to be a challenge. I knew that the program that I was getting myself into, the conference that I was putting myself in, I knew it was going to be difficult. I knew there were going to be girls physical, fast, athletic, check all the boxes. I never expected to be able to match up to those girls as well as I have. I've definitely grown as an athlete and had to learn what areas to improve on. But I think that over time, I've slowly come to love the ECC and its competition. There's never a game that I go into that I'm not ready for a battle.
That's great. And I'm glad you mentioned like how much you have been growing yourself, because that was going to be my next question. How have you felt you've grown as an athlete, as a student, as an individual in the first 2 years that you've been here at CSI as you now are into year 3?
I feel that I've grown tremendously. I think that my personality has developed and I feel so much more confident in myself as a person and putting myself in situations. I feel more confident to speak up and to share my ideas and my knowledge. I also feel that I have become so much faster and so much stronger thanks to my coaching staff and my athletic trainers keeping me healthy and helping me realize what parts I need to take care of for myself and my body. I think that I've learned such an abundance of knowledge and gotten such an amazing set of connections through the coaching staff here, not only on mine, but through all the other teams in the athletic department, that I've made relationships that I hope will last a lifetime.
Awesome. Great to hear. And, as far as what we see on the field itself so far this season, I did go on CSIDolphins.com. I recognize the schedule 4-4-4, and you're getting set for really that final home stretch of the season. And like you said, you're really, battling for playoff contention at this point. What goals do the team have right now, not just for the rest of the season, but how you kind of want this to end for you by the time your career is over? What kind of boxes do you want to check off?
The second I stepped into my coach's office my freshman year, he sat me down and he asked me, Emily, what is your goal? Where do you see yourself when you finish your college career? And I see myself lifting the ECC trophy. Nice. I see my team winning the entire conference championship. All the work and all the hours we put in are not going to go unshown. And I see ourselves going all the way. I think the fact that we can even make playoffs this year is a team that when we were ranked was absolutely nothing. They felt that we had no chance.
Mm-hmm.
We're showing teams that we have worked hard and that we are something and that we are someone that they should worry about. So I think that our goals as a team are all to make it to the final, but I definitely see myself lifting a trophy before I leave CSI.
Oh, I hope that does happen for you. And it sounds to me like there's many more memories to make here at CSI. But to this point so far, Emily, what kind of memories stand out for you being a part of the athletics program, maybe on the field of play itself? Are there any highlights for you so far that you really are kind of etched forever for you?
One of my most proud moments here at CSI was my first collegiate goal. Freshman year was actually our first Division II goal at CSI.
Wow.
We were tied 0-0 at the end of half. There was about 30 seconds left. We have a set piece from the 50. My teammate Patine plays the ball in. My teammate Jenna taps it off the goalie. And the ball is moving forwards, and I'm not even facing the net. And I decide to go for a bicycle kick to just put it back into play. And the ball just so happens to go in the back of the net.
Wow.
And it was my first ever goal and the program's first ever Division II goal. And it's just a moment that sits with me. That'll sit with me forever because we ended up winning that game. It was our first ever Division II win against Felician. It was just absolutely beautiful and magical. And I actually rewatch that goal before every season starts just to remember that I can have such a big impact in a game.
Wow, that is truly an amazing memory, and congratulations. I actually did not know that you had scored the first goal and the first win in Division II history. So congratulations. I hope you have that ball, by the way, or somebody should have that ball, but that's great. It truly is great. So congratulations. Emily, we're so proud of our athletes, but also the work that you're doing in the classroom, because we believe in the concept of classroom to career at CSI. What does that potentially look like for you? If you have it your way, do you plan on well, I know you plan on attending grad school. You said that earlier, but that perfect job somewhere, what would that dream look like for you?
My dream is to work for an athletic facility. I always love the idea of coaching and being a part of a team, but I think for me, I want to be a little bit more grounded and have a solid place. So the goal would be to go work for a stadium like MSG or Red Bulls Arena and go work on that side so I can interact with so many different teams and so many different athletes and be able to give those athletes an experience that I always wanted, the experience that I always appreciated when I had as a college athlete, those moments where those staff members and those people that don't even kick the ball help you out and take care of you. I want to be able to give that to other people on such a high level.
Wow, that's really great, and we should definitely stay connected, Emily. I actually have a contact who works at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. She's a former student at the College of Staten Island, former worker in our sports information office. But you guys should definitely connect once your career is over. And I think she was working for the Yankees at some point as well. So definitely good networking opportunity for you as well. Listen, Emily, it's amazing how fast time goes when you're having a great conversation. I do like to leave some time at the end for you to give us any final thoughts, anything that we may have missed or that you'd like to add about your experiences at CSI and what it means to you.
One thing that I really just want to advocate for is for all the people that doubt going to college and all those people that actually make it to the collegiate level, be proud of yourself. Like you said before, there's such a small finite amount of us that actually get here and do it. And I hope that everybody that gets there and is able to do it is able to treasure those moments. For most people, your collegiate career is the end of your athletic career completely. And these 4 years go by so incredibly quickly. I feel that you need to treasure them and you need to appreciate and tell yourself good job because you did something that so many people never even imagined that they could ever accomplish.
Awesome. Well, we're very well said, Emily. Thank you so much again for being a part of this podcast. I wish you the best of health and continued success on the playing field and, of course, in the classroom. And I hope our paths can meet once again. Congratulations for everything you've done.
Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Once again, that was CSI junior student athlete Emily Albano joining us fresh off of the soccer field. In fact, just got back from practice not too long ago when we recorded this episode. So great to have a chance to get to know Emily a little bit more. And of course, her travels through the women's soccer pitch, but also what she's up to in the classroom as well as a Verrazano honors student. So great to hear her story, what got her to the College of Staten Island, what's getting her through en route to her degree, and of course, what comes next after graduation. Always something that we're keen on learning from our CSI students because they all are so exceptionally successful, and we're so happy to talk to them even more, and we'll have more students during the course of the year as well. So I want to thank Emily for being on the show. We promise we'll have some more athletics themed episodes coming up, perhaps later in the semester or definitely during the spring semester as well. And by all means, check out csidolphins.com and come out to a game. Our Dolphins are just so incredibly talented, and the excitement is real on the CSI soccer complex. Of course, the indoors on the basketball courts, swimming pool as well, baseball and softball fields out there as well as their seasons will roll along. That'll do it for me here for Season 3, Episode 7 here on Monday, October 23rd, whatever time of day, whatever day of the week you have listened. We are thankful for your listenership and remind you to please subscribe so you stay with the latest CSI Today Talks podcast episodes. Next week, co-host Terry Mayers returns to the podcast. Well, he will have another exclusive guest. We do hope that you'll join us for that one. Until then, have a great week, everybody, and thank you for listening to CSI Today Talks.
Thank you for listening to this edition of the CSI Today Talks podcast. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast to get alerted for brand new episodes and to listen on demand to your favorites. Be sure to check us out at www.csitoday.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. From Dolphin Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents exclusive NCAA Division II women's soccer coverage live on the ECC network. In today's non-conference matchup, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the Goldey-Beacom College Lightning. And for those of you who tuned in a bit early, you got a chance to see the latest episode of CSI Today Talks, the official College of Staten Island podcast. Of course, we have the official CSI Athletics podcast as well. The Dolphin Pod, former co-host of the Dolphin Pod, David Pizzuto, hosting CSI Today Talks. His guest for the most recent episode was women's soccer star Emily Albano. If you missed any of the episode, you can check it out via the link over at csidolphins.com or over at CSI Today at csitoday.com. But Nick, we have a non-conference matchup on deck today. The Dolphins take on the Lightning. It is Morgan's Message Mental Health Awareness Day, so we're going to have a special pregame script ahead of today's game, mental health awareness and helping to reduce the stigma with mental health issues among student athletes. The primary objective of this year's mental health awareness game. On the field for the Dolphins, a non-conference matchup, one final tune-up before a huge game this weekend against Malloy.
And Joe, you and I talked about the scenarios for the Dolphins going into Saturday. Obviously, needing a win against Malloy, and then they also need Queens to lose or draw versus Deauville coming up this upcoming weekend. So going into this, it's a good tune-up for the Dolphins. If they come out on top with a win today, that would really help them get some momentum going into Saturday. So we'll have to see how they fare today. They are coming off a tough loss to Deauville in their last game, but a good win today could help them going into their game against Malloy on Saturday.
They would love to build some momentum heading into Saturday's game. Both women's soccer and men's soccer will be fighting for their playoff lives this weekend. Both teams need to win. We know that much. You went through the women's scenario. We'll talk a bit more about the men later and their potential path to the postseason. But last time out for the Dolphins against Deauville, they had a chance to leapfrog the Saints for the final ECC playoff spot. The Dolphins ultimately lost that game by a final score of 6-2. With that loss now, their final game becomes a must-win, and they're going to need some help. But it is very possible that the Saints team, which beat them this past weekend, could give them that help entering this weekend's matchup against Malloy. Regardless of what the outcomes are in those other games, the Dolphins will take the pitch on Saturday with a chance to make the postseason. They get underway a bit earlier than the rest of the conference. The women's game here at CSI begins at 11 a.m. following Senior Day. The games that they need to watch begin at noon. So we'll have live scoring updates during the game, but the Dolphins will take the pitch with a chance to make the postseason come this weekend.
And if they can get a good win today, Joe, that would give them, as you said, the momentum going in to that game on Saturday. We saw their last home game here against Lincoln. They looked really good in that game overall on both sides of the pitch. They had 5 goals in that win over Lincoln by the final of 5-1. Carrara and Rodriguez had 2 goals. Melgar added another. They also scored in the game against Deauville this past Saturday. So overall, the Dolphins are getting the ball in the net and getting some opportunities for their offense to give them the lead. Unfortunately for the Dolphins, what really came down to it is they just gave up a couple of bad goals to the Saints, and that's where they took away from that. If they have a good, strong game today, that does give them that momentum going into Saturday against Malloy.
Well, taking a look at the history between the College of Staten Island and Goldey-Beacom College on the pitch, it has been all Lightning thus far. They own a 2-0 lead in the all-time series. Most recently, they beat the Dolphins 4-0 last season. That game was played in Wilmington. As for the 2021 season, the Dolphins hosted the Lightning here at Dolphins Soccer Park. Goldey-Beacom won that game by a final score of 5-0. So the Dolphins will certainly be looking for a big statement win here today against a team that not only have they not beaten, but a team they also have not scored against. As for the Lightning, they're coming off a 2-1 victory over Post University this past weekend. They'll look to make it back-to-back wins on the road in 2 games here today at the College of Staten Island. But Nick, it's hard to shift our attention away from the weekend. The Dolphins will have to do that today for a non-conference matchup. How big of a challenge can that be for this Dolphins team?
I think you have to look past that game, unfortunately, from this past Saturday, where everything seemed to get away from you. It slipped out of your hands. But now you have to shift your focus to today. Obviously, your attention could be looking to this upcoming Saturday. And I think for the Dolphins, they have to make sure they don't look ahead. Because if you look ahead in this game, this one will slip away, and then that momentum that you wanted to go into Saturday will not be there for you. You have a couple of days off after today, before that game on Saturday as well. You want to make sure you're in good tip-top condition going into that game. So the Dolphins need a good, strong overall effort for both sides, and they're going to have the win today.
And the Dolphins, you mentioned lately, have done a good job putting the ball in the net. They have scored 24 goals on the season. They've allowed 26, so a differential of just 2 goals, far better than what we saw from them last year. But so far this year, 7 different Dolphins have scored multiple goals. Juliana Carrara had 3 goals last week. She earned an East Coast Conference Weekly Honor Roll mention for the Dolphins. Jacqueline D'Amico, the leader in assists in the East Coast Conference. However, the Dolphins will be without their leading goal scorer, Isabella Radavini, today. They hope to have her back for the season finale against Malloy. Obviously, that would be a huge loss if she does not play for the Dolphins in that game this weekend, but CSI certainly hopes to have her back. There's a lot to like about what you've seen from this Dolphins team over the last couple of weeks. They went without a win for a little while, but have begun to pick it up when it matters most late in the season. And I said it before, this is obviously a non-conference game, but it is against a team that you've never beaten. The opportunity here today for a big statement win rests with this Dolphin team, and they hope to take care of business on their home turf.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see, Joe, how they do without Radavini today. Obviously, we know the impact she has for this offense, able to either score or set up her teammates for an assist. So with her not in the lineup today, and now forces one of the other Dolphins to get involved into the scoring or into the playmaking ability. But as you mentioned, Carrara had a really good week last week. We've talked about Rodriguez with their 2 goals against Lincoln. Melgar scored 2 goals also this past weekend as well. So the Dolphins are getting some other production from their offense. If they could get some more production today, they'll have a really good chance of beating the Lightning.
You're absolutely right about that, Nick, and we look forward to seeing this non-conference matchup coming up in just a few short minutes. The Dolphins come in 3-1-3 at home as they look to protect their home turf at Dolphins Soccer Park this afternoon. Kickoff coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll step aside for the starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem, NCAA Division II.
She Aesthetics Med Spa and Wellness Center. Our approach to beauty and wellness begins with a holistic plan tailored to the unique needs of our patients. When we consult with patients, we let them tell us what their problem is. We don't tell them what the issue is. We find out what they're looking for, and we discuss, and then we give them options. If you're looking to achieve radiant skin, you've come to the right place. We offer hydrofacials, microneedling, Opus Plasma, peels, facial and laser treatments, laser hair removal, body sculpting, fat freezing, hormone replacement therapy, Botox, IV drip therapy, and more. We are open Monday through Saturday and are located at 720 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York, 10310. We hope to see you soon. Visit our website at www.chiaesthetics.com for more information.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, got 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
I was the kid who would do surgery on my teddy bear and have my sister be my patient, and I would wear the stethoscope and the lab coat. I was that kid. Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Dr. News, who is the head of the biology department, definitely has had a huge impact over the past 2 years I've been in the lab. He took a chance on me and actually gives me the power to actually do things. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. I've had so many experiences with underprivileged people and just seeing that they want the basic things that people get out of life. And if I can help in any way, that just kind of warms my heart. That's why I want to be a doctor, to serve those who have been dealt a bad hand. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. It was just because I bought into myself, because someone bought into me. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
And welcome back inside Dolphin Soccer Park as we get set to begin today's NCAA Division II Women's Soccer non-conference matchup between the College of Staten Island Dolphins and the Goldey-Beacom College Lightning. My name is Joe Foreman alongside my broadcast partner Nick Bavona. And Nick, we are just moments away from kickoff, which means it is time for starting lineups, beginning first with the visiting Goldey-Beacom College Lightning. In goal will be 0, Jennifer Mejia. The rest of the Lightning starters in numerical order: number 4, Sarah Isaacson; number 6, Bella Davidowski; number 8, Jade Balan; number 15, Lexi Yeager; number 18, Miley Jones; number 19, Samantha Emmy; number 20, Alexa Pacheco; number 22, Alex Lowry; number 26, Alyssa Petula; and number 27, Polomar Call. For the College of Staten Island, their starters in numerical order: 0, Brianna Dorr; number 2, Jacqueline D'Amico; number 4, Emily Albano; number 6, Colleen Rodriguez; number 8, Nadia Evela; number 11, Juliana Carrara; number 12, Gabriela Castro; number 17, Ina Kolka; number 20, Ariel Uwe; number 24, Adriana Melgar; and number 27, Megan Marr.
And the Dolphins looking to get back from that loss to D'Youville this past Saturday, looking to get a big-time win today before a huge showdown on Saturday versus Malloy. We talked about the scenarios already, Joe. Going into that game, obviously needing help as well from D'Youville. But overall, a good day for some football. It's a nice sunny day, not really cold as well, so a little bit of a breeze. But it should be a great day overall here at the College of Staten Island.
A good day for some football? If we're across the pond, maybe. But it is a great day here at the College of Staten Island in terms of weather. Can't ask for much more.
Right.
And given that I'll be spending the evening outside, I'm certainly for it. As soon as this game is over, Nick, I'm on the road to Philadelphia, Game 7 of the NLCS tonight.
Go straight to the bank.
My Phillies hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm ready to go in uniform, but had to make this stop first. We have a big game coming up in just a few moments. As we wait for the Dolphins to take their positions out on the pitch, the ball has been spotted at the midfield stripe, and we are just moments away from getting this one started. Now for the Dolphins, as has been the usual during non-conference matchups, Brianna Dorr in net for CSI. We mentioned the Dolphins are without Isabella Radavini today. They hope to have her back for the team's final game. The rest of the Dolphins starters, the usual, ahead of today's kickoff with Goldey-Beacom.
And Joe, with Radavini out, who do you expect to see the Dolphins be that type of playmaker that has to step up in this big of a moment, trying to get you that momentum going into the game on Saturday against Malloy?
Well, in terms of playmaking, no Dolphin has done a better job this season than Jacqueline D'Amico. 7 assists, leads the East Coast Conference, but Adriana Melgar in the midfield as well does a great job to get things started for the Dolphins, working out of the midfield. She's had 3 assists this season, has also scored 3 goals. She's been a threat both as a playmaker and as a finisher for this Dolphins team when she has been given opportunities around the net. So those are 2 names to watch out for. Also, Juliana Carrara had 3 goals last week, and she added 1 on Saturday against D'Youville after 2 last week here at home against Lincoln. She will get the first touch of the game for the Dolphins as she will kick things off from Dolphins Soccer Park.
I think another name to look out for, Joe, Colleen Rodriguez has been really good the last couple of weeks for CSI. Had 2 goals in that win against Lincoln. Another player to look out for today for the Dolphins in terms of scoring ability.
Rodriguez has been a Dolphin that's accustomed to taking some longer shots. One of those found the back of the net against Lincoln last week, as you mentioned. And I'd say that she's probably among the bigger threats out there for the Dolphins from distance. No question about it. Another name to watch out for in this matchup on the scoring side of things, as the Dolphins work the ball east to west, just outside of their own penalty area. This is Carrara. And that ball knocked away as Carrara attempted that pass. Isaacson got a foot on it, and the ball is spilled over the near side. Lightning working in the attacking third. Yeager crossing to the center of the box over Albano's head, bodied by Castro, onto the foot of an attacker and in. Miley Jones, less than 90 seconds into this match, has scored the first goal, and Goldey-Beacom takes an early 1-0 lead.
And that's a situation, Joe, where the Dolphins had a chance to clear it out and just could not do it. And Miley Jones took great advantage of that, getting an early goal for the Lightning to put them on top just about 1:06 into this first half, as Goldey-Beacom now leads at 1-0.
Lightning wasting no time getting on the board early in this first half. And you know that is not the start the Dolphins were looking for. Basically, the first time that the Lightning touched the ball, they turned it into a score. And the Dolphins defensively this year have not been a team that has allowed a lot of goals. They've been very good at limiting the goal scoring of the opposition. But early in this one, a mistake cost the Dolphins, and they now trail by 1.
And for Miley Jones, that was just basically right place, right time for her right there to be in front of the net with the turnover forced by Goldey-Beacom as they look to attack here for a 2-0 lead.
Lightning moving in, and that shot is on goal and saved. That one attempted by Yeager. And the Dolphins have conceded a couple of early shots, both on target. Most recent one stopped by Brianna Dorr.
Good stop by Dorr right there. Because if it's a 2-0 lead for Goldey-Beacom, that could really ruin the confidence of your goalkeeper as this game goes along. So she definitely needed that one.
That goal for Miley Jones, her third of the season, giving her team the 1-0 advantage. 3 different Lightning players have scored 4 times. McQueen, Emmy, Yeager all have 4 goals and 9 points. In both of those categories, that trio tied for the team lead. Carrara putting some pressure on here, and Melgar comes and takes the ball. That's sent toward the top of the box, off the foot of Carrara, and sent over the touchline. Dolphins will throw.
Dolphins can use an early shot right here to try to get a feel of how it will go today against Jennifer Mejia.
Lightning now awarded to throw. It goes to Isaacson. Yeager. Ball sent into the midfield. Ballin to Yeager. Kolka, the nearest Dolphin defensively. That was played through, but looked like it was going to be an offsides against Yeager, and the Dolphins benefit from that as Dorr rolls it ahead to Albano.
I think early on you're seeing the Lightning with some good playmaking ability, Joe. They're getting a lot of passes through. Almost got another one right there to give them a 2-0 lead. But thankfully for the Dolphins, an offside was going to be called if the pass was going to be completed.
We've seen our share of very big offsides calls this year. Perhaps none more notable than at the end of our men's game against American International. Aaron and I thought the Dolphins had won it, but the flag was up, and unfortunately for CSI, that game ended in a 1-1 draw, as the Dolphins may benefit here off that touch, but just strong enough off the head of a Goldey-Beacom defender, allowing their goalkeeper Mejia to get on top of it before Carrara got there.
And Joe, we talked about the men. They also are in a situation this upcoming weekend where they're looking to play for their playoff lives.
We'll talk a bit more about them, perhaps, as we close in on halftime. But both men's and women's soccer hosting huge games against Malloy this weekend. And if you're these two teams, you really can't ask for much more. An opportunity to earn a playoff spot with a victory. That being said, they need a little bit of help. The women need a Dieuville win or draw in their game against Queens. Dieuville currently ahead of both CSI and Queens in the standings. And based solely on seeding, you have to like Dieuville's chances in that game. That being said, they have to travel all the way to Flushing from up in Buffalo to play that game. And you have to think that being the road team in that contest, certainly a bit of a disadvantage if you're Dieuville.
Especially where there being a noon kickoff for that one. That definitely could play a factor into that game.
Typically the teams will arrive the night before the game. Taking a look at Dieuville's splits, 2-2-3 at home this year, 2-4 on the road. In conference play, the Saints are 3-2-1. Their losses came against Roberts Wesleyan and Malloy. Malloy, the team the Dolphins will face coming up this weekend. All CSI can do is take care of business here at home. They can't control what happens elsewhere. This is Melgar. Now Evola looking for Carrara. Looks like the first to it will be Emmy, and she will let it roll into the arms of her goalkeeper. That ball punted in the air by Mejia, out across the midfield stripe onto the foot of Balin. That's over the far side. And the Lightning will throw. Rodriguez got it away for D'Amico. D'Amico wanted Carrara. Kolka comes down to meet the ball and finds Evola. Evola for Uwe. Good ball from Evola. Uwe has some space here working down toward the touchline. And she sends a cross out of play. Couldn't get that ball to curve enough in order to find the foot of D'Amico.
So an early chance for the Dolphins right there with the cross attempt, but Uwe just didn't get enough on it for not only on the cross attempt, but it goes out of play and now leads to that goal kick for the Lightning.
That ball intercepted by Gabriela Castro. And now the Dolphins look to make something of it as Kolka's pressured back. Rodriguez from Castro. D'Amico may have gotten a small piece. Evola coming down with some pressure now. Balin. Right into the midfield circle, but there were three blue jerseys there. It takes a friendly bounce for the Lightning, and they maintain possession in the midfield. Goldey-Beacom plays it back to their keeper. Mejia gets it away. And a long through ball is a good one. Here comes Yeager. Marr closing in. Albano from behind, and that shot is stopped by Dorr.
Excellent stop right there from Dorr. And now leading to a corner coming up for the Lightning. But again, needing that save right there. Otherwise, it would have been an early 2-0 lead for Goldey-Beacom. So a huge stop for Brianna Dorr right there.
Look at our ball runner, Stephen Bonfield, emphatically placing the ball for the corner kick. You can't do a much better job than that. Stephen earning that paycheck.
He's somewhat of a ball runner, apparently.
Something of a ball runner. Stephen's mindset is that somebody has got to do something. Might as well be him. Might as well be him. And we have a whistle for a foul.
And it's going to be on Goldey-Beacom, so it'll be a free kick coming up for CSI.
That call goes against Jones. Free kick, Dolphins. It'll be taken by Dorr up near the top of the box. Emily Albano lost some of the bandaging or tape she had on her leg. Looked like she had some extra support, ditched it behind her own net. Of course, Albano, the guest on CSI Today Talks, You got a look at that episode ahead of our pregame show today. We should have a new Dolphin pod coming up in time for basketball season. In fact, we have recorded some segments for a new Dolphin pod already. Our CSI Sportsnet colleague, Nick Durst, got a chance to speak with men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs, as well as several Dolphins that you'll recognize from last year. Those conversations will debut ahead of day one of the Tournament of Heroes. That will be on Friday, November 10th. You can get your first look at our latest episode of the Dolphin Pod ahead of day one, Tournament of Heroes. It's hard to believe, Nick. We're just about 2 weeks away now. A little bit more, about 17 days away from the tip-off of basketball season.
And you know how we are all excited for the basketball season upcoming. Both teams making the playoffs last season, looking to go back into the postseason this year. Should be a fun time overall at the Tank.
And for me personally, when it comes to calling basketball, I've always had a special affinity for basketball, not because of a preference toward any particular sport. It's because you and I, working on Sportsnet, get to call the game from directly alongside the action, indoors, where weather is not a factor,
right,
and we have the fans right behind us. I think the atmosphere for a broadcaster is unmatched, as opposed to some of the other sports where we're up in a press box, we're much further from the action, and we're not in the middle of bleachers full of screaming fans. It definitely makes a difference.
And that was a big difference in one of our games last year that we called against America International. The Luis Armas game-winning three-pointer at the end, that was definitely one of the bigger moments that CSI had last season.
No doubt about that. Definitely among my favorite calls from last season. If I remember correctly, that was a deep three-pointer.
It was a very deep, from the parking lot, as you said.
Did I?
I think you said from the parking lot. You said from a different area code, that's what it was.
Sounds about right. That's something I would say.
Sure, we'll have a lot more calls this upcoming season.
If that shot were made today, I might say from all the way in Philadelphia.
You're hoping one of those Bryce Harper home runs goes to a different area code.
If it lands here, I won't be opposed. Lightning have it as they send it through the midfield onto the foot of Ariel Uwe. Carrara from Melgar. Carrara moving up the near side, and she runs out of space. Throw in Lightning.
Yeah, it just seems so far, Joe, that it's mostly been the Lightning controlling the time of possession. The Dolphins have had some opportunities in the last couple of minutes, but have not been able to put anything on net so far as they're trying to get back into this game, only trailing 1-0 so far.
Ball with Brianna Dorr now. I mentioned the Lightning have gotten the better of the all-time series, but after that early goal, Dolphins have really calmed down a bit and have done a much better job controlling possession, though the commentator's jinx may have struck there. Never fails.
Especially with you, it does not fail at all.
So far, the Dolphins have gotten the better of possession time, but haven't spent much time beyond midfield. Lightning goal came seemingly out of nowhere, off a throw-in. Ball was misplayed off the cross. Dolphins tried to get a body on it in the box. Nobody got there. And it wound up on the foot of Miley Jones. And that one is sent well wide of the frame. Non-threatening chance there. In the game last year, the Dolphins surrendered 34 shots to Goldey-Beacom, and that's not a number you can live with. Don't think we'll see that again today. Just a hunch.
If you're a Dolphin fan, you hope not.
I don't think we will. Just based on what we've seen in these first 14 minutes, the Dolphins certainly appear to have found their footing following the early goal. The question remains, how many goals will it take to pick up a win here today, and can the Dolphins break through for their first score against Goldey-Beacom? 2 years ago, Dolphins allowed 20 shots to the Lightning. CSI had 4 shots in both of their meetings against Goldey-Beacom. That's a foul on Kolka. Ballin dispossessed. Uwe with the takeaway. D'Amico finds Carrara. Carrara working toward the center of the pitch. Gets it over to Kolka. Kolka back to Albano. Albano with Jaeger close behind. Off the mark with that pass for Castro. Looks like the Lightning threw in quickly. I thought for a moment they were setting up for a free kick. It was just a very quick throw. And that ball gets by Uwe. It's headed for the corner and over the touchline for a Dolphins goal kick.
We'll have a substitution coming in for CSI as Rodriguez is going to be coming out. Trying to see who the number is that is coming in for the Dolphins.
Isabella Castro into the game for the Dolphins. First substitution of the game for either team. Looks like Rodriguez made her way over to the trainer's table. It was a very brief visit. That pass intercepted in the midfield. And Melgar takes it back. She sends one up toward Uwe. Uwe was on sides, but she plays it back to Carrara. Long shot over the bar. Good attempt by Juliana Carrara, making a bid for her fourth goal in her last 3 games.
That's good presence from Uwe as well, Joe, to realize the situation, having to pass that back to Carrara. And Carrara put up a really good shot, almost on net, just going over the crossbar, leading to that goal kick for the Lightning. So a good chance right there for the Dolphins, and that's something they need to have keep going on in this game if they're going to have an opportunity.
That was a great ball to set up Uwe. Uwe early in the season was involved in a lot of Dolphin scoring chances. Hasn't registered a goal since the game against Georgian Court. That game was played back on September 13th. 2 goals and an assist on 3 shots in that game. She's attempted just 3 shots since. Carrara looked to turn, could not, but the Dolphins are awarded a throw. That one sent toward Carrara, but off target, chipped in the air. It ends up with the Lightning. Jaeger works around Kolka. Is met with a double team. The ball was taken away by the Dolphins. That one sent toward Melgar. A bit too strong. And off of Melgar's foot, it will be a Lightning throw. That ball over the touchline. Dolphins will throw now. That ball bounces over D'Amico's head in the midfield. And once again, possession with Goldey-Beacom. That ball rolling up the far side. Albano looked to let it roll and then tried to play it off the Lightning attacker. Ball stayed in through all of it. And now Kolka is moving forward. Kolka has some room. She's looking for Uwe. And Uwe is offsides. Flag is up. Uwe saying she never touched it. She's not wrong.
Well, from one football to the other, Joe, we have seen a lot of ref ball this week.
A lot of what?
Ref ball.
Okay. If you were watching the NFL this weekend, it was an interesting weekend. I think the best way to enjoy sports is as entertainment. Don't become invested because inevitably you'll find yourself disappointed.
Right.
I kind of look at it like WWE wrestling. I want my favorite to win. If my favorite doesn't win, I'm not losing any sleep over it.
Well, for your sake, hopefully the umpires don't play a factor into tonight's game.
Let's hope not. To be fair, though, my favorite wrestler hasn't lost in over 1,000 days.
That's true.
We only count championship losses here. We only acknowledge those.
Only put the one to the sky.
Not sure how many wrestling fans we'd have watching.
No, they have absolutely no idea what we're talking about either. That's the best part.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No.
Lightning have it in the midfield once again. We're just over 20 minutes gone by in this first half. Goldey-Beacom on the attack. Chance to cross here. Albano got a foot on it, but a second cross toward the dot, disrupted by Marr. Melgar tries to redirect it out of danger, but the Lightning stay with it. Jones plays it back. And now Isaacson moves across the midfield stripe. Cole got rid of it. And that one a bit too strong off the foot of Isaacson.
And you're seeing now these last couple of minutes show the Dolphins' defense has been really good, not giving the Lightning any opportunities to get another shot on goal, as now they're going to make 2 substitutions right here trying to get some offense.
Looks like Caitlin Nolan is one of the 2 substitutes. The second might be Sia Diakos. I think that is correct. Both substitutions on for the Lightning at the 23:45 mark in this first half. Big collision just outside the box there. And ends up with the ball in the hands of Brianna Dorr. And there's another nasty collision in the midfield, but both players are okay.
Lead to a free kick for the Lightning after that call.
That ball bounces to Ballin, double team, just got rid of it. And that pass too weak, allowing Uwe to intercept. Uwe running up the near side. The pass takes her a bit wide, and she could not keep it in.
Almost a nice give and go right there from CSI, just a little bit too far out in front for Uwe, and it will lead to a throw-in for the Lightning right here.
That was a really good opportunity for CSI on the counter. Pass just a bit off target. Ball comes to rest on the foot of Albano. Nobody home on that pass. The Lightning will let it roll. Throw in Goldey-Beacom. And a foul is called. It goes against the Dolphins.
What we've seen so far the last couple of minutes, Joe, the Dolphins have been very aggressive the last couple of minutes on the defensive side, not giving any room to breathe for these Lightning goal scorers. They are trying to make sure that the Lightning do not get another shot on net.
Making a strong run after that ball is Nolan.
I almost jinxed that one.
Again, wouldn't be the first time.
Would not be the first time.
Typically, I'm the commentator's jinx. It'd be nice if it was someone else for a change. That ball skips through the midfield. Nobody could make contact with it. And Goldey-Beacom will throw. That ball sent toward Diakos. She couldn't make any contact, and the Dolphins take it. Melgar looking toward Castro. Gets it to Carrara. Kalka wanted the through ball. Instead, Carrara looks toward the center of the pitch. 2 players making a run. Ball did not clear the center backs of the Lightning. Castro crosses toward Evola, and an attempt on the volley, not a strong one. Played on the bounce by Mejia.
Another good attempt for CSI right there. Just not enough from Evola there. But the Dolphins have shown this last couple of minutes that they're getting some opportunities now. They just need to now capitalize and put one on net.
Dolphins made a mistake defensively early, have played well since. Dolphins hoping to break through for their first goal of the match. As we approach 20 minutes to go in the first half, Marr clears that one away, but it ends up with Cole. Now Castro had her pass intercepted by Nolan. Nolan surveys, gets it away. That cross toward the top of the box. A good one onto the foot of Diaco. She takes it away from Marr. Albano there. And Albano did get a piece as the Dolphins concede the corner kick.
Good defense right there from Emily, now leading to that corner kick coming up. Second one of the day for the Lightning. They try to extend that lead to 2. And they'll have 2 more substitutions coming in.
Heading off, Davidowski, one of the 2 Lightning leaving the pitch. Looks like Pacheco is headed to the bench as well. We do have another Lightning player behind the net. Pacheco is staying on. Ballin heading off. Corner kick was taken short. Nolan tried to send one into the box after that, but it was broken up by Melgar. It's a throw deep in the corner for the Lightning. Diaco's back to Nolan, who wanted to cross it again. Melgar would not allow it. Melgar knocks it away and could not keep it in play. Lightning will throw. That one off the foot of Castro in the corner. Diakos crosses. Albano tried to clear. Nolan wanted to shoot it and didn't get a good shot off, but Angela Lee looked to move in. Had the ball knocked away from her. That's headed out of the box by Marr. Jones, defended by Evola, looked to cross, and it ends up in the arms of Brianna Dorr.
There's no room to breathe right now for the Lightning on the offensive side these last couple of minutes. Ever since getting that first goal, Dolphins have been swarming them and making sure they can't get another shot on net.
That ball sent back toward the keeper by Pacheco, and Mejia launches one out toward the midfield stripe. Lightning will throw now. 17 and a half minutes to play in the first half. Dolphins trail 1-0. Goldey-Beacom scored just 66 seconds into the match. They put a second shot on goal not too long after that. Have only had 1 shot on goal since. Lee looked to work past Castro, could not, but she does earn her team a throw. Shots favor the Lightning, 4-1. Shots on goal, 3-0. And the Dolphins will concede the third Goldey-Beacom corner of the match. See if the Lightning look to take this corner short again. Castro, the nearest Dolphin. Corner taken into the box. And a shot comes of it. But we had a whistle and a foul. That corner ended up free for quite some time, right around the dot. Nobody could get a shot off. Dangerous moment for the Dolphins there.
Good cross right there, too. But the Dolphins did catch a huge break with that foul called.
And the Dolphins concede another throw very quickly. Cole throws it onto the foot of Mariah McQueen. One of the substitutions that checked in ahead of the corner. The other was Lee. And Kolka took a shot to the knee, it looked like, and I think the 2 players banged knees there. Kolka's up. She's okay.
I think that was Miley Jones that she collided with on that play.
Both making a play on the ball there. Foul does go against Goldey-Beacom. That ball sent across midfield. Carrara back to Kolka. Now Marr looking for Evola, who redirects with the heel. Evola had a chance to play Uwe through. That was a good breakup. Big play there by Cole to break up that pass.
Dolphins had numbers. That was a good play from Cole.
That one headed in the air onto the foot of Lee. Lee wanted Nolan. I don't think Nolan was expecting it. Pass perhaps a bit strong. Now Melgar looks to move up the pitch. Wanted Carrara, the pass off target. Melgar has it back. She retreats and gets it to Albano. Albano for Melgar. Ball rolls onto the foot of Marr. Marr back to Albano. Albano moving forward, finds Castro. Castro avoids the challenge from Lee, working up the far sideline. Castro slows it down and lost possession. Quick throw in by the Lightning. Albano got a body on it. Now Kolka chips it in the air. Kolka still has it. Carrara for D'Amico. D'Amico for Evola. Evola near side. Castro. Did not get there first, but the Dolphins will throw. Castro for Evola. Evola looked to work past Nolan, and she doesn't get the call there. Thought we'd certainly have a foul call in that spot. Lee over-pursued the ball by just a step, and the Dolphins have it back. Melgar had to avoid the challenge from Nolan. Now Marr over to Albano. Albano moving forward toward midfield. Looked to play it toward the far side. Castro was there. Pass intercepted by Lee. She was nearly dispossessed by Carrara. Gets rid of it. D'Amico applying the pressure now for the Dolphins. Mejia wants it, and she gets it. 13 minutes to play in the first half. Isaacson up ahead. Cole looking for McQueen on that pass. And the Lightning are awarded a throw. Substitutions coming on. Taryn Hilke will come in for the Dolphins, replacing Evola. Jones will head off for Goldey-Beacom. And Kira Cohen heads in. Isaacson. Toward the back line of CSI. And the Dolphins just got it away. Sprinting through the midfield was Pacheco. She had it for a moment, but the Dolphins took it back. Now Cohen. Looked to play it toward the near side. Uwe closing in. Cole just got rid of it. Now Nolan up ahead for sprinting McQueen. McQueen got there, but could not keep the cross in play.
You talked about McQueen, Joe. She's one of the leading goal scorers for this Lightning team, and had another chance right there, just a little bit too out in front for her, leading to that goal kick for CSI.
Albano. For Melgar. Melgar given space. Working toward the midfield. She got it ahead to Castro, who sends it up in the air. Hilke, the nearest Dolphin. Hilke has it. Wanted D'Amico. It was broken up by Nolan. Nolan got rid of it. Pacheco up the far side. Here comes Lee. Sliding tackle by Kolka. A good, strong tackle. And now the Dolphins might have an opportunity. Kolka wants Uwe. It did not get through the back line. Isaacson broke it up.
Another good defensive play for this Lightning team, Joe, so far here in the first half.
We've seen the center backs with a couple of good breakups as the Dolphins look to play attackers through. Kolka doing a good job to keep possession. Now Melgar retreating toward midfield. Castro toward D'Amico. D'Amico plays it with the head. Carrara was there. And it's sent into the air by Isaacson. Kolka again, moving into the attacking third. Wanted Carrara, who wasn't looking, but the pass was intercepted. Castro back to Albano. Just over 10 minutes to play in the first half. Marr for Melgar. Castro. Castro avoids a challenge. Moving into the attacking third, was given some room. Now Hilke. Hilke forced toward the sideline. And the Dolphins are awarded a throw. Off the throw, Carrara had it, and then takes that one straight off the foot of Castro.
That's going to sting for a little bit.
Just a bit. Not what you're hoping for in that situation, especially from that close. Dolphins have it again. Carrara wanted Hilke. Couldn't get the pass away. May try again. As the Lightning knock it over the far sideline, the Dolphins will throw.
And that'll lead to another substitution for CSI's. Kolka's going to come out.
Kolka is out. Jolie Van Stralen in the game. Here come the Lightning again across midfield. Tie up. And Goldey-Beacom keeps possession. Nolan sends one way up the pitch with the left foot. Lee her nearest attacker, but not enough room. Goal kick Staten Island, 8:30 to go in the first half.
Still some time for CSI to try to tie this game just before halftime. Still looking for their first shot on goal.
Their one attempt was off the side of Evela's foot on the volley. She didn't get that much of it. It was not on target. And there's a big collision in the midfield. Pacheco went down hard.
Also saw Carrara take a shot as well that went over the crossbar.
Right. Dolphins with 2 shots. That Carrara attempt by far their best chance. They had a couple of nice scoring chances on potential through balls as well, but the backers in the middle for the Lightning broke those up. That pass intercepted by Albano. Moving forward with some speed into the midfield. Albano surveys. Wants to play Uwe through. And Mejia comes out to meet that ball.
Good heads-up play from Mejia, seeing Uwe running that one down to pick it up and stop the attack from the Dolphins.
Melgar for Hilke. Hilke strong on the touch, but it works out as it found its way to Uwe. But the Lightning rally to make sure possession is taken from the Dolphins. Now Lee on the run. Albano also giving chase. And it will be a Dolphins goal kick with just under 7 minutes to go in this first half. Dorr will take the goal kick. Left-footed kicker. Lee and Castro met over the ball. Lightning come away with it. Uwe pressuring. And Castro got a foot on that one. Stumbles away. Looked a bit shaken up. And Stralen. And McQueen closing in from behind. Now Marr has it. That one just got by Nolan onto the foot of Hilke, but Hilke gave it away. Cole up ahead to McQueen. Looking to work around Castro. Castro wouldn't allow it. Marr. Melgar. Clears it. Throwing for the Lightning. 2 substitutions coming on for Goldey-Beacom. 5.5 to go in the first half.
Looks like Lee and Petula are the ones that are subbing out for the Lightning. I believe that's Paige Ludwig was one of the subs. I'm trying to see who the other number was.
Tori Nillis, second substitution. Nillis wears number 12. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Dolphins did a good job to regain their composure after the early goal, but have not scored. And these last couple of minutes have been spent in their own end. Melgar had that pass broken up by Nolan. Marr looked to clear, could not, but Nolan is whistled for a foul. Free kick, Staten Island, as the clock winds down toward 4 minutes to play. And Albano sends it over the near side. Goldey-Beacom will throw.
No chance for Hilke right there, leading to another throw-in for Goldey-Beacom.
Throw straight toward the midfield stripe. That's sent toward the attacking third. And Marr intercepted the pass attempt by the Lightning. Albano working toward the far side. D'Amico for Carrara, for Castro, and Castro couldn't get there. .320 to go, first half. And off the throw, and the Dolphins redirected over the sideline again. That one headed out by the Dolphins. Clock winds toward 3 minutes to play. Diakos couldn't turn, and now the Dolphins are awarded the throw.
Steven certainly earning his money out there, Joe. That's 4 straight throw-ins he's had to have the ball ready.
Steven's always ready. Strong tackle by Van Stralen. And Carrara's pass broken up, and now the Lightning may have had a chance to counter. That was taken away by Albano. Castro works past Ludwig. Could not get that ball to Uwe. Albano plays it with the body. Carrara for Albano. Albano tied up, working against Pacheco. Dolphins will make a substitution here.
Now under the 2-minute mark here in the first half.
Kelly Buckley into the game. Gabriela Castro. Marr. Just over 90 seconds to play. Albano wanted Melgar, couldn't sneak it through. Nolan takes it away. Stops. Gives it up. Nillis into the attacking third. Diakos had it knocked toward the far side. McQueen couldn't get there. Dolphins will throw. Just over a minute to play.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
Uwe giving chase, couldn't get there in time. We're under a minute to go in the first half. Melgar takes it away. Dolphins have 40 seconds. Melgar. Got it away from Marr. Now Melgar with some speed. Approaching 20 seconds to play, could not find Uwe. That's cleared by Goldey-Beacom. And that may do it for the last Dolphins chance. The Lightning hoping for one more opportunity. But with that ball rolling toward the sideline, that should do it for the first half. Albano with 6 seconds. Sends one up the pitch. And it's headed away by Isaacson. That will do it for the first half, as the Dolphins trail Goldey-Beacom College by a score of 1-0. When we come back, the final 45 minutes of this NCAA Division II women's soccer non-conference matchup.
I feel like as a player, I've grown so much with this group and with my coaches, and my game has just elevated a lot more than it would have anywhere else, to be honest. So I'm just so grateful to be able to play with this team. And just being able to play in Division I soccer week in, week out, it's just getting the best of both worlds, having the opportunity to get a degree. You really have to appreciate what you have. And there's so many kids around the world that don't get these opportunities, so you have to take advantage of it for sure.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and look like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back and my dad was like, we have a prodigy. So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. I loved the team. They brought me in like I was one of their own. The professors help out so much. They actually care about developing me, not only so I just memorize the material and able to take a test, but am I able to apply the information. I don't feel nervous asking them, hey, I'm not going to be in class, can you send me something? And they're completely fine with it and they understand, which is the best part. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do. Be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I'm able to go out and become president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. SAC is consistent of like a ton of different backgrounds, and we'll come up with cool ideas for like fundraisings, and having the opportunity to raise money for Make-A-Wish and knowing it's going towards a good cause not only motivates me, but it motivates the whole community. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Dear soccer, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be in this position today.
Thank you for being something that is more than just my sport.
Soccer really is the beautiful game, and it will take you more places and give you more experiences than you could have ever dreamed of.
The people that I owe the most to are my teammates. They have been my crutch to lean on, shoulder to cry on, my hype woman in times of doubt, and my best friends day in and day out.
You get to wake up every day and play the sport you love at one of the highest levels at a prestigious university surrounded by your best friends. There is simply no better feeling.
You have given me my best friends, my most trusted mentors, and the most essential experiences of my young life. You are my community. With you, there is no race, no gender, no rich, and no poor. There is just a ball, 2 goals, and a common language.
Thank you for teaching me how to be a strong and courageous woman on and off the field. Thank you for giving me hope for the future.
On the soccer field, I found a home. That is where I have always belonged.
I've learned a lot of things. I think one of the biggest things is how to cope with people, because I think that at the University of Virginia, and just as you keep moving on in life, you're going to keep meeting many more people. And I think all of the connections that I've made just at the University of Virginia they've become a big part of me. I think even the guys on the team, I consider some of them my family. I mean, I wake up in the morning at 6 in the morning, I'm spending time with them all the way up till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And I think that's one of the bigger things that I've learned is the relationships that I build with people, whether it be on the soccer field and off the soccer field, because even classmates at University of Virginia are some people I consider some of my best friends. And I definitely think connections with people and the bonds that you build with people that I know are going to carry on with me through my entire life, it's definitely some of the bigger lessons I've learned.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
I can't describe how much I learned as a player, but also as a human being, because you have to overcome challenges that you don't face in other areas. As part of the NCAA and obviously the college system itself, being a student athlete, there's so many challenges that not everybody else can relate to, and you have to try to excel in both areas. And now eventually you'll become a leader. Like in my case, I kind of had to step up into that role. And I feel like I've embraced that challenge, and now I love the spot where I am right now. I love how I've matured, become a leader, become the captain of the team, and hopefully I can help the rest of the guys win the natty.
I was the kid who would do surgery on my teddy bear and have my sister be my patient, and I would wear the stethoscope and the lab coat. I was that kid. Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Dr. News, who is the head of the biology department, definitely has had a huge impact over the past 2 years I've been in the lab. He took a chance on me and actually gives me the power to actually do things. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. I've had so many experiences with underprivileged people, and just seeing that they want the basic things that people get out of life. And if I can help in any way, that just kind of warms my heart. That's why I want to be a doctor, to serve those who have been dealt a bad hand. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. It was just because I bought into myself, because someone bought into me. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
Dear soccer, there are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you. From the moment I was brought onto this earth, you were all I knew. You have been with me and have seen me from a young little boy in Brazil to a well-rounded man in America. From all the days and nights kicking the ball at walls, breaking everything at home and making my mom upset, sleeping with a ball under my arms, making fun of my dad for beating him by 1 goal, never imagined that he will let me in just to see me smile. You were there for me. You were there with me. When we are together, nothing else matters. It's me and you. It's like the whole world disappears. Everything goes away and we just enjoy it. I have always given you my all, my very best. Soccer, you have brought me to a place outside of my comfort zone, gave me an opportunity to live out my dream, and introduced me to my mentors, my role models, and most importantly, my family. You have been my teacher, my biggest fan, my biggest critic, and my best friend. With you, I was able to accomplish milestones that I'll always be proud, experience moments that I'll never forget, make memories that I'll forever remember, and live the life that I always dream about. So thank you. Thank you for turning the little boy who used to break things into the house to the man that I am today. There are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you, but there are words to describe the feelings that I have right now, playing in the Final Four, with the greatest team, the greatest coaching staff, with the greatest university, and with the greatest fans. Nothing will ever compare or measure up to this moment. We're not done. I hope to still have you with me for a long time and live many more great memories together. Thank you, soccer.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and look like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back and my dad was like, we have a prodigy. So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. I loved the team. They brought me in like I was one of their own. The professors help out so much. They actually care about developing me, not only so I just memorize the material and able to take a test, but am I able to apply the information. I don't feel nervous asking them, hey, I'm not going to be in class, can you send me something? And they're completely fine with it and they understand, which is the best part. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do. Be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I'm able to go out and become president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. SAC is consistent of like a ton of different backgrounds, and we'll come up with cool ideas for like fundraisings and having the opportunity to raise money for Make-A-Wish and knowing it's going towards a good cause. Not only motivates me, but it motivates the whole community. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
And we are back here from Dolphins Soccer Park. My name is Nicholas Pavona. I will bring you the early action here in the second half. As Joe Foreman is just looking to make sure that we have the correct starters for the second half of our action between the Goldey-Beacom Lightning and the CSI Dolphins. A 1-0 lead, or I should say 1-0 lead for the Lightning here as we approach the second half of this one. Lightning with 3 shots on goal. They took advantage of a Dolphins turnover to start this game as they scored 1:06 into this one to take the 1-0 lead. Dolphins have had some chances throughout the game, but just have not been able to get anything on net so far, so they still look to get their first shot on goal. As we mentioned, the Dolphins, this is a non-conference game for them. They will be playing Malloy on Saturday. With a win over Malloy and a Queens loss or draw versus D'Youville, the Dolphins will make the postseason this year, so a lot on the line this weekend for CSI. As we are moments away from kickoff here in the second half of this one. The lone Goldey-Beacom goal scored by number 18, Miley Jones. As we are underway here in the second half at Dolphins Soccer Park. Carrara kicks it back, and they're going to rule it out of play. So it'll be an early throw-in for Goldey-Beacom. So the Dolphins with an early turnover in the first half that led to that goal. As Mark sends that one away. Lightning looking to set up their offense as I'm being rejoined on the call now by my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman.
All right, Nick, thank you for taking over. As per our halftime ritual, I was summoned to the room next door to make sure we have the correct 11 on the pitch for each team at the start of the second half. But we are back in the booth for the rest of this one with 44 minutes to go in this game. Dolphins still trail 1-0. They conceded an early goal and have not allowed anything since, but CSI is still looking for their first shot on goal. Regardless of what the outcome in this game is, I think it's clear the Dolphins have demonstrated vast improvement over their past efforts against Goldey-Beacom. Certainly a big step in the right direction, given how they've played so far. They'd love to make it a victory as well. It's the final non-conference game of the season for the Dolphins. We spoke about it a bit earlier. Both teams will be playing for a playoff spot this weekend. We spoke about the scenario for the women in case you missed it. Dolphins need to win, plus some help. They need D'Youville to beat Queens or play Queens to a draw. Dolphins currently trailing Queens in the standings by a single point. On the men's side, Dolphins need Damon to do anything except win their last 2 games, so 1 loss or 1 draw will get the job done there.
They play D'Youville and Mercy in their final 2 games.
D'Youville winless in the conference, Mercy the 2 seed right now. So you would think the best opportunity for that help would come in the game against Mercy, though the Saints will be looking to pull off the upset. And then they have to win. Now, I'd have to go back and double check. The ECC actually launched a brand new website today, so the standings aren't completely updated yet. But I was looking yesterday, and on the women's side anyway, the tiebreaker between the Dolphins and the Knights came down, I believe, to the 4th or 5th conference game. So how it works, it goes head-to-head first. They play to a draw. After that, they look at your results against each conference opponent in descending order. So it starts with the 1 seed, and you work your way down. As of last night, that tiebreaker, I believe, went down to the 4th or the 5th game before the Dolphins finally lost the tiebreaker. The results were identical all the way down. If I recall the men tiebreaker, they would lose it, if I recall. I'd have to double-check that, but I believe they would lose the tiebreaker with Malloy if they played to a draw. I think Malloy had a favorable result somewhere near the top where the Dolphins did not. I think they played to a draw and the Dolphins lost. But I'd have to double-check that. Everything becomes much easier if the season ends with wins and losses. As the Dolphins tried to find Carrara there. And she did. She got it last.
She did. She had a good foot on it, but just a lot of power into that one, going over the crossbar and over the railing in the gate to lead to a goal kick for Goldey-Beacom.
Just a bit of extra power on that one.
But at the end of the day, Joe, the moral of the story for CSI going into the Saturday is have to make sure you take care of business first and get the win, and then focus on what happens around you as the day goes along. So the moral of the story is get the win over Malloy because they're looking to play spoiler this upcoming Saturday, and then see what happens the rest of the way.
Well, Nick, on the men's side, if Malloy loses, they're out. In all likelihood, they're out. I don't think they can lose and get in because the Dolphins would jump past them in the standings. Though, if Damon were to win twice, that still wouldn't be enough. If the Dolphins beat Malloy, the Lions are out. So the Lions have to win. Now, when it comes to a draw, Malloy would gain a point, the Dolphins would gain a point, Malloy would stay ahead. So that tiebreaker doesn't matter. Forget everything I just said because the Dolphins are not tied with Malloy in the standings. They're 1 point back.
I know how much you love tiebreaker scenarios.
I believe on the men's side, the Dolphins are 1 point back. So a draw wouldn't do them any good. That's why I didn't look at the tiebreaker last night. I knew there was a reason.
Well, it makes sense now.
That is why. A draw would give both teams a point. The Dolphins would finish just behind. So they need to win. However, the Lions cannot afford to lose. So that creates a very interesting dynamic. If you're Malloy, you're okay with the draw. If you're the Dolphins, not so much. Also, if you're Malloy, if Damon were to win both of their last 2 games, that would eliminate the Dolphins, but now that would force Malloy to potentially need to win because the Wildcats would have 9 in terms of points, and Malloy would have 8, so Malloy would then be in a must-win. So that's a lot.
There are a lot of scenarios going into Saturday for sure.
If you're a fan of the Lions or the Dolphins, you're definitely rooting for Damon to lose one of those last 2 games. That way you don't have to worry about that. Preferably they would lose the first of those 2 games, but that's against Dewville, so the Wildcats would go into that game the favorite. Lightning looking to generate something on the attack. And if you're a fan of the Lightning, none of this means anything to you.
Right. They're just listening along.
None of this means anything to you if you're a fan of the Lightning, who are currently 3-3-3 in the CACC. How's that for a rhyme?
I was going to say, that rolls right off the tongue.
Mejia will send this one away. She punts out toward midfield. Now we'd have to double-check the dates for potential ECC playoff games. If I remember correctly, they had games immediately following the regular season, midweek the following week. So that would be, I believe, November 1st would be midweek. And then on the weekend, they would have the semifinals followed by the championship 1 week later. I think that's the setup. Could be wrong there, but I think that's the setup. Top 2 seeds get a bye, of course. Dolphins would have to play in the first round regardless on both the men's and women's side. The best the Dolphins can do is finish in 6th. Lightning looking to get something going on the attack. That pass knocked away by Melgar. Lightning now in the attacking third. Kolka looked to disrupt, and Marr clears. Carrara meets the clearance right in the midfield circle. Now Melgar. Looking for Uwe. Uwe is on sides, but the ball a bit too strong. And that rolls over the touchline. Goal kick coming up for Goldey-Beacom.
Unfortunately, Joe, we've seen that a couple times in this game for the Dolphins where they've had a leading attacker going up the pitch, but the pass just a bit too strong for them, leading to a goal kick for the Lightning. So the offense have unfortunately caught some bad breaks here in this game.
Goal kick Goldey-Beacom here. Melgar. Back to Kolka. Melgar, give and go with Kolka, redirected onto the foot of D'Amico. D'Amico wants Castro. Castro gives chase down toward the touchline and won't get there.
Just another instance of the ball being just a little bit too out in front for the Dolphins right there. And another goal kick for Goldey-Beacom.
Goal kick, Lightning once again. And the Dolphins might have an opportunity here. And that's a good clearance by Isaacson just to get that ball out of a dangerous spot. The Lightning concede the throw, but they'll take that.
And especially with Rodriguez, who was looking to get a shot on net. But the clear away really saved Goldey-Beacom right there.
Throw by the Dolphins, headed right back over the sideline. Center backs for Goldey-Beacom have been busy in this game, despite the fact that the Dolphins have been limited in their number of shot attempts. That ball cleared out across midfield. Marr there waiting. And Marr just got it away with the left foot. Emmy up ahead. And Petula working against Melgar is taken down. Men's soccer didn't like that call, Nick.
I was going to say that the CSI faithful not happy with that one. Melgar was going to make a clean play on the ball, but did not get the call there from the referee. Free kick for Goldey-Beacom.
We have CSI men's soccer seated right below us outside the window of the press box. More and more spectators filed in as this game has progressed. And Uwe is on sides, but she had to wait for that ball to come down after the first touch. Uwe racing down toward the corner, jockeying for position. Sent one into the box, not a lot on it. Onto the foot of Melgar. And Melgar's shot was sent right back the other way. Here come the Lightning now. Quick spin by Balin. That pass up ahead to Lowry. Lowry got it away.
Nice play by Marr right there. Saving could have been a good and go for the Lightning.
That was Jaeger looking to get that pass away. This one rolling toward Isaacson and Carrara. And Isaacson will usher that one into the arms of her goalkeeper.
Here trying to slow down the pace of play right now, as Lesko and Mitchell have been some high-flying action.
Still in that WWE mindset, huh?
You could say that, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
NXT Halloween Havoc tonight.
I completely forgot that was on.
And there's a good ball, setting up a chance, and Dorr was able to get on top of it just in time.
Good job by Dorr right there.
Speaking of Havoc.
I was almost Havoc for the Dolphins, so good job by Dorr to keep it 1-0. But I'm sure, Joe, we're all going to be watching that Game 7.
And speaking of Halloween, how about the goalkeeping kit for Brianna Dorr?
In the
shirt with the black shorts.
Certainly in the spirit.
The jack-o'-lantern kit, perhaps?
I have to ask her that.
It's not. She's worn it this season.
I know.
Melgar over to Castro. Just over 32 minutes to go in the second half. Our colleague Aaron Cohen, an expert on goalkeeping kits. Former goalkeeper. Aaron will be back on Saturday. We thought he might have a solo broadcast coming up on Saturday, but though I have an event elsewhere, I'll be pulling triple duty on Saturday.
Wow.
The women's game, the men's game, and then a semi-pro football game. So it'll be a busy day for me, but we're going to make it work with a potential win-and-in scenario. I couldn't miss the season finale.
Can't
do it.
I'll be making sure to tune into the broadcast this upcoming Saturday.
He'll be on the road to New Rochelle with me once we're done here.
All right.
We'll have to watch it back on demand via the ECC network. If the playoff seeding was already decided, there's a chance I'd be a spectator on Saturday, take the game in from the stands, but can't miss the call with playoffs on the line. Perhaps maybe I'd even be the public address announcer. It is senior day.
That's true.
7 seniors for women's soccer, 3 for men's soccer. We'll all be honored on Saturday ahead of the game against Malloy, as that shot was partially blocked off the foot of Nolan. And Dorr was able to bring it in cleanly.
And I think it being partially blocked saved Dorr on that one. She was able to track it down.
I'm not sure CSI translates into the YMCA posturing that we're seeing from men's soccer right now. Our crew has been known for their own rendition of the YMCA.
That's true.
At Yankee Stadium, we were having a good time earlier this season. It's probably the highlight of the game. The Phillies didn't do so well that night.
It was honestly the highlight of the season for me as a Yankee fan.
There you go. We, as a crew, went to see the Phillies play the Yankees earlier this year. Didn't go so well for the Phillies.
Well, they are certainly doing their own rendition of the YMCA with CSI.
I was going to say I'd love to see how they're doing the S. I'm not quite sure it's working.
S is a tough letter to do with your arms.
They're going for what looks like a cha-cha and a reverse cha-cha with the other hand, maybe? Is that what you'd call it?
I guess.
This is where we need a second camera.
They're still trying to work on it.
Yeah, that's not how I write my S. We'll allow it. You know what might be harder? GBC for Goldey-Beacom. That would be even harder.
That's true.
That one I don't think you can pull off. You would need to work as a group. Lightning possess it. Shadows creeping into Dolphin Soccer Park now as we approach 4:30. Nice job by the official to avoid that ball. And Melgar with a good touch. Men's soccer loves it. D'Amico.
They were looking for a call on that as well.
We saw a similar touch from Miguel Espinoza last week, leading to a Dolphins goal.
You know, the S isn't as bad as you would think, Joe. They're getting a little bit better.
They're making it work?
They're making it work a little bit better now.
That's what I like to hear. This is not what the Dolphins like to see, as Pacheco is moving forward with speed. Albano takes away the angle, but the cross got onto the foot of Diakos, who sent it high. Big chance there for the Lightning.
They had a great, strong opportunity right there. Pacheco with a good pass to Diakos, and just a little bit too much on that striking attack right there, leading to a goal kick for CSI as a bunch of substitutions came in for both sides.
We'll catch some of those subs as the action progresses. Taking a quick look out. D'Amico, the Dolphin, who headed off. Evola heads on. It's always easier to spot the home subs. We know the players well, but visitors a bit tougher sometimes. I think it was Nolan who headed off for Goldey-Beacom, at least one of the players who left. Uwe had Rodriguez and Kolka in the area, too strong on that ball. 27 minutes remaining. Score still 1-0.
He's getting caught up in Steven again, running down for the ball. He's been on top of it today.
Steven, all gas, no brakes out there.
I see what you did there.
We'll gas him up after the game. Job well done.
Someone's got to do something, as you mentioned earlier. That's a nice back kick right there from Rodriguez, but just, again, 2 out in front for the Dolphins.
Mejia was aware. A little bit less on that ball, and I'm not sure Evola doesn't get there. Great effort there on the heel kick to set that one up by Rodriguez. Speaking of players who have been in the middle of a lot of scoring chances this year, Rodriguez one of them.
We spoke about the 2 goals that she had against Lincoln last week, and she has really been a big spark for that Dolphins offense.
That ball sent to the box. Doors there waiting.
Dora thought about throwing it away, but now she'll let it. Dolphins set up.
That ball played with the body by Carrara. And Carrara has it now. Back to Melgar. Mar to Evola. Again played with the heel. Kolka has some speed. Kolka looking to play Rodriguez through, but Mejia is there.
Men's team getting into that one, Joe. They were ready to see a shot on goal right there from CSI.
There have been a couple of those through balls that have been really close.
You've got to like the intensity, though, Joe, the Dolphins have had as there's a free kick on a foul for CSI, so free kick for the Lightning. But the Dolphins' intensity in the second half has been really good. And they've got the Lightning on their heels trying to keep this 1-0 lead.
Aside from the early misplay in the box, it's been a good showing for the Dolphins. This game's been pretty even. The Lightning with a slight advantage on shots and probably a mild advantage in the quality of chances as well. But compared to what we've seen the last 2 seasons in this matchup, Dolphins have done a good job today. Now, men's soccer is getting the rest of the spectators to join them. We might have to stick a headset out the window.
It's kind of reminiscent of the women's team being at the softball games a couple months ago.
Throw in here for the Lightning. We approach the midway point of the second half. Men's soccer. Love that.
They won't love that, though.
No. Free kick, Goldey-Beacom. Free kick, bending toward the top of the box, redirected. Not sure who touched it, but it wound up in a pretty good spot for the Lightning. And there's a strong challenge by Kolka to make sure no shot comes of it. Whistle for a substitution. Off the throw, cross attempt, headed away by Mar. Diakos had it knocked away. Melgar looking to begin the counter. Evola had it knocked away, but Kolka intercepts. Kolka trying to shield Jones off the ball. She does. Kolka looking for Castro, but again, just a bit too strong.
Yeah, once again, having to read that pass from the Dolphins and making sure that they did not get a shot on net.
Substitution Lightning. 2 new players will come out onto the pitch. Looks like one of them is Kira Cohen. Kolka, much to the delight of men's soccer, looking to play Carrara through, just couldn't squeeze that ball in there. Melgar was met by Emmy. Kolka deflected to Lee, but Kolka still battling, and Lee forces play back in the other direction. That applause is all men's soccer, Nick. They love it.
They absolutely love it. And there's the CSI chants again.
It's not the chant I'm interested in. It's the posturing.
They might have to give the baseball team this posture for the men's basketball games this year.
Well, the Fanatics always out in full force during basketball season. Gets a little rowdy over there sometimes, just a bit.
I wonder if this is going to be a new staple here at CSI. That CSI posture chant.
At the new student orientation, it was agreed upon that we needed a new chant. We were asked what our chant was and didn't have an answer.
You might have found it.
I always thought it was blue and white, fight Dolphins fight.
That was.
At one point, that was the chant. That one pioneered by CSI Cheer. As that ball is sent down toward the corner, Castro was close, but a bit too strong again.
And Carraro's going to come out for the Dolphins here. And D'Amico's going to check back in for CSI with 20 minutes to go in the second half.
Under the 20-minute mark, the Dolphins still trail 1-0. Dolphins have had several chances to play attackers through, and those attempted passes have been just a bit strong. As Avila was fouled, free kick Staten Island. Punted out toward the midfield by Mejia. Kalka waiting for it to come down. Heads it into the midfield circle. Played with the body by Cohen. There's another Dolphin going down. Kalka on that play after Evelo went down just a few moments ago. Marr, quick spin and turn.
The women trying to show out today now with these last couple of minutes for the men's team.
They're certainly getting a lot of encouragement. Cole, up ahead for McQueen. McQueen moving down toward the corner. May look to cross here. Bowie defending. Bowie tried to clear. McQueen keeps it. Bowie not giving her any space. Sliding tackle, and McQueen still has it. Cross gets through, but onto the foot of Albano, who tried to clear it. Melgar moving ahead with speed. Melgar working up to midfield, surveys, and will retreat a few steps. Now D'Amico redirects for Melgar. Melgar moving forward. Melgar avoids a challenge. Castro crosses. D'Amico's there, diving header off a defender as that hit the body of Samantha Emmy. And that awakens men's soccer. Dolphins corner kick coming up.
The intensity is getting palpable here, Joe. These last couple of minutes have been really good for the Dolphins. They're starting to make this interesting as we approach the 17:30 mark here in the second half. They look to tie this game at 1 apiece. It's going to be Rodriguez on the corner right here.
That one sent toward the near post, headed away. But Rodriguez will get it back with a lot of room. Kolka looking toward goal. Sends one toward goal high.
That's the second time today, Joe, we've seen the Dolphins with a long strike that just goes over the crossbar for another goal kick for the Lightning.
Lightning possess with just under 17 minutes to play. And we had a soccer ball flying off the field that almost took out our ball runner, Pierre. Watch out. D'Amico for Castro. Great ball. And it ends up skipping away as Castro and Mejia met. No shot attempt.
Men's soccer wanted a foul called on Mejia, but no call right there.
What an opportunity for the Dolphins. A great ball to set up Castro. That looked like it was either going to be a shot on an empty net or Mejia diving on top of it. Instead, the two players collided and the ball stayed loose. We have a handball. Free kick, Dolphins taken quickly. Evela for Castro. Castro has room. Castro looking for Kulka, and it's cleared away.
And it looked like Castro was deciding between either crossing that or giving it to Kulka.
Albano got a foot on it in the midfield. It was a bit strong of a first touch. Now Melgar battling, working against Lee. Got it away for Evela. Evela looking toward the corner where Castro is. That pass intercepted.
And they called the handball, Joe.
I thought they did, but play continues. So I think the Dolphins may have been allowed to play the advantage, and that didn't help them. It's going to be a throw-in for the Dolphins, under 15 minutes to play. And it looks like the head official is having a word with the Lightning bench right now.
And if you're the Dolphins, you're hoping that exchange goes quickly because time is of the essence this late into the game.
Dolphins making a substitution here. Hui heads to the bench. I think Carrara back in for the Dolphins after a short breather. Kulka, center of the pitch, moves forward. Rodriguez. Left-footed shot is well wide. Not an easy chance with the left foot.
Now approach the 14-minute mark here, Joe. Dolphins looking to keep the pressure on this Lightning defense.
That ball chipped in the air by Yeager. It's going to come down right on her body.
They've got
Albano
numbers.
Did not get there and forced a shot. And I think her presence was enough to force an early shot by Yeager. It's saved by Dorr.
And that was big because the Lightning had numbers on that play, Joe. So to force the shot was huge and a good stop from Dorr.
Here comes Evela now. The intensity really picking up in this game as that one was sent ahead by D'Amico. I think she wanted Carrara. The look wasn't there.
He had kept it in play, so.
Mejia will punt it in the air. Out to midfield, 13 minutes to play from Dolphin Soccer Park. And Nick, it just seems like at some point before this game is over, one of these teams is going to break through for the game's second goal. Question remains, who's it going to be?
The intensity, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Joe, has been definitely going up in these last couple of minutes. And for CSI, you're hoping to at least come out on top and get a nice game going into Saturday with a huge one against Malloy.
That was redirected by Melgar, almost right onto the foot of Rodriguez. That gets through Kulka. Here come the Lightning.
They got numbers again, Joe.
It's a 4-on-3. Yeager with Albano there. Good tackle by Albano. Big play there to make sure this remains a one-goal game. Evela played it back toward Castro. Castro wanted D'Amico, bit off target on the pass with under 12 minutes to play. Albano sends that one in the air. It comes down with Melgar. Rodriguez got a piece, but didn't have great control of it. Lightning will play it back to Samantha Emmy. Emmy up the pitch toward Yeager, bodied over the near side. Substitution for Goldey-Beacom as the clock ticks down toward 11 minutes to play. Albano toward Rodriguez. It got through her. And onto the foot of Cohen, who gives it up to Isaacson. Isaacson sends it to the attacking third. Castro got a piece, and they whistle a foul against the Dolphins. That's a big whistle. Wasn't sure if they'd call a foul there. The Dolphins bench certainly didn't think there should have been.
Seemed like a late whistle, too, when it was called.
Well, typically, they'll play the advantage in a spot like that, and it seemed like maybe an extra second had passed before we expected the whistle. It's a big opportunity for the Lightning here. They can make this a 2-goal game off of this set piece. And that is a shot, and it's over the crossbar. Not a bad effort on the free kick. That was Emmy attempting the free kick. Just a bit high, and it remains a 1-goal game with just over 10 minutes to play. And that one got through, and now a chance here for the Lightning. Stopped by Dorr. Huge save.
And Dorr with a good presence to try to get that ball up quickly to give her teammates an opportunity to go down the field. Or I should say pitch. Sorry, Joe.
That one got through. Looked like Marr tried to get a piece. It just got by her. As that developed very quickly.
A huge stop from Dorr.
That was a save the Dolphins had to have, and Brianna Dorr delivers. Can the CSI attack deliver their first goal ever against Goldey-Beacom? Carrara for D'Amico. Now Rodriguez. And she chips it ahead, but there's nobody there. That one punted out toward midfield. Nolan with a nice ball up ahead. McQueen on the move. Beats Marr to the spot. Marr stumbled but disrupted things enough as she blocks the shot as well. Good recovery by Marr. She was in a foot race, and she was able to get there just in time to make things a bit more difficult. McQueen looked to cross. It rolls onto the foot of Lee. Lee gives it up to Lowry. Rodriguez forces Lowry to retreat. Long shot, easily saved by Dorr with 8:20 to play.
There's those chances again, Joe.
More chance of CSI from men's soccer. Trying to will the Dolphins to a goal here.
They got 8 minutes to do so.
And that one is sent over the bar. One chance after another now for Goldey-Beacom.
And Albano made that a tough shot.
Well, the spotlight has been shining brightly on Brianna Dorr these last few minutes, and she has responded. On top of that, a couple of shots traveling just over the crossbar. 7.5 minutes to play from the College of Staten Island.
Dolphins bringing back in Ariel Uwe. She replaced Colleen Rodriguez.
Not a long break for Uwe. And there's a good ball, and fresh legs off the bench. Moving forward on the attack. Uwe into the penalty area. Chance to cross, perhaps to shoot. And she tried to get it away toward the center of the box. D'Amico got a foot on it. Sliding tackle. And the ball ends up on the foot of Balin as it's sent back toward midfield. Castro finds Carrara. Now D'Amico. D'Amico wanted Melgar. Melgar got there but could not keep it from rolling over the touchline. We do have a whistle, and it looks like the Dolphins were awarded the corner kick, so the Lightning were last to touch it. And a big spot here for the Dolphins with 6.5 to play.
It's starting to rumble here, Joe.
Are the Dolphins ready to rumble? That's the question. Corner kick on its way. Albano got a piece with the head, but did not put it on target.
Now they got 6 minutes left, Joe, so the Dolphins might have just a couple more opportunities to try to get this game tied at 1.
Goal kick, Goldey-Beacom. Just under 6 minutes to play. It's been a good one here from Dolphin Soccer Park. The only goal came 66 seconds into the match. Buckley trying to shield Pacheco off the ball. And she earns CSI a throw. Buckley throws toward Carrara. That one headed the other way by Emmy. Now Kolka facing pressure from Jones. Kolka gets it to Marr. Marr sends one off the head of Jones. And Kolka could not get it past Nolan in the midfield.
The Dolphins are now at that point in the game, Joe, where they've got to play flawless if they're going to have an opportunity to tie it.
Melgar working toward the midfield stripe. Plays it ahead. Evelis certainly onside. Lightning threw the hand up in the air. And that one sent on goal. Played on a hop. Lightning have it. Pacheco moving ahead with some speed, working toward the attacking third. Give and go with Diakos. Pacheco has it back into the penalty area. Buckley giving chase. Cross, center of the box, stopped by Dorr. No rebound. What a save by Brianna Dorr. Big chance for Caitlin Nolan, stopped by the Dolphins goalkeeper.
Dorr has been huge for CSI in this second half, Joe. Some thrilling saves to keep this game 1-0 as they certainly had an opportunity, Goldey-Beacom did, to make it 2-0, and now we have a stoppage in play. The clock stopping at 4 minutes and 11 seconds here in the second half.
I don't know how she stopped that one, Nick. She was headed toward the far post, looking at a potential shot in that direction. Had to make the sliding stop, diving back in the other direction. Huge save by Brianna Dorr. She's been tremendous in this second half. The Lightning once again look to move into the attacking third with under 4 minutes to play. That one sent toward the top of the box, was redirected off the body of Buckley. Jones has space. Albano closing in, blocks the shot. Jones again has it, plays it to the top of the box. Kolka gets there ahead of Diakos, and now D'Amico. Wanted Melgar, couldn't get it to her. That one rolling toward goal, and the Dolphins will let Dorr play it. 3:23 remaining. Long punt out toward midfield. Uwe waiting for it. Got a piece. Carrara waiting for that ball to come down. Gets it to D'Amico. D'Amico, good ball for Uwe. She's in a foot race with Emmy. And Emmy sends it off the corner flag. That's going to be a Dolphins throw. That ball deflected right off of the corner flag. Carrara throws from Elgar. Tried to cross it. It was blocked. Dolphins will throw again. Or at least I thought so. Looks like that ball was blocked off of Carrara.
That is a big call right there now, especially with under 2:40 to go in the second half. It's a free kick coming up for the Lightning.
So foul may have been whistled, perhaps a throw-in violation. Kolka got a piece, still fighting, and Jones comes away with it. Dolphins may have to gamble a bit more here. The Lightning looking to take advantage. Castro on defense for the Dolphins. Ballin looked to move in, content to let time bleed off the clock as we approach 2 minutes to play from Dolphins Soccer Park. That ball sent toward Nolan near the top of the box, cleared away by Marr. Carrara giving chase for the Dolphins. Instead, it was headed by Emmy. Nolan waits for it to come down. Marr got a foot on it again for Staten Island. Melgar avoids the challenge, working toward the center of the pitch. This is D'Amico. D'Amico, stonewalled by Emmy. Emmy with the takeaway. The Lightning continuing to let time bleed off the clock. 90 seconds to go. Diakos sends one up toward the corner. Albano first to it. Her clearance was blocked away. Albano getting aggressive defensively. The ball still in play. It finally rolls over the touchline. Clock stopped at 1:15. And it looks like Castro might be shaken up for the Dolphins. And her sister will check in to replace her. Gabriella in for Isabella with 1:15 to play. It's a throw in for the Lightning. .75 seconds to go in this one. The Dolphins hoping for one final chance. And it looks like the throw-in instead was awarded to the Dolphins. Looks like the referee is writing something down. I don't know if there was a booking. Either way, the clock continues to run down toward 1 minute. Emmy sends one into the midfield, headed by Kolka. Jones for Pacheco. And Pacheco will probably try and run this one down toward the corner. Albano with another strong tackle takes away that chance. Albano moving forward with speed. Inside of 50 seconds to play. Albano looking for Melgar. It was broken up, chipped in the air. 40 seconds to play. Evola has it bounce over her head. Nolan comes away with it. Plays it ahead onto the foot of Marr. Marr, working across midfield, has Melgar, who looks to turn. Melgar, quick turn. Trying to work toward the inside now. Had that pass broken up. Castro toward D'Amico. The Lightning trying to send it back the other way. They play it into the Dolphins bench. 18 seconds to go. Last chance for the Dolphins. Castro for Melgar, cleared away again. 8 seconds to play. The Dolphins throw in. Melgar toward the box. D'Amico plays it with the head, but time runs out on the Dolphins as they allow just the one goal, barely over a minute into this match, and they drop their non-conference finale against Goldey-Beacom by a score of 1-0. And Nick, next time we see this Dolphins team, they will be playing for their playoff lives in their season finale as they host Senior Day against Malloy on Saturday.
Well, unfortunately for the Dolphins, they fall in this 1-0. But you had to have liked what you saw from CSI most throughout this game after giving up that goal in the first half early on. They played really good defensively, did not give any good attempts up until the last 10 minutes of this game. And Brianna Dorr kept CSI in this one, had some big-time saves to keep it 1-0. Unfortunately for the Dolphins, they just did not have many attacks and could not get the ball on the net. Only one shot on goal, but there are some good things for them going into this final game in Malloy, as you mentioned, playing for their playoff lives as well as looking for some help from Dieuville.
Dolphins will need help one final time before we sign off. We'll go through the playoff scenarios on the women's side. Women's soccer must win in their season finale. They will also need Queens to play Dieuville to a draw or have Queens lose to Dieuville in their season finale. The Knights will be the home team in that match, something to keep in mind as Dieuville travels down from Buffalo. As for men's soccer, they also need to win in their season finale, and they will need some help as well. They need Damon to lose or draw in one of their last two games. They cannot afford to have the Wildcats win both of their remaining two contests. The Wildcats will play Dieuville in the middle of the week, and then they will play Mercy on Saturday. Keep in mind as well that for CSI Soccer, their games start a bit earlier than the rest of the conference, so they will not know how the other games turned out before getting started when they take the pitch this weekend. However, we invite everyone to join us here at Dolphins Soccer Park to cheer the Dolphins on and to celebrate Senior Day with us, as 7 players for women's soccer will be honored, 3 players for men's soccer, an extensive Senior Day ceremony coming up ahead of kickoff on Saturday when the Dolphins take on Malloy University. But until then, this has been Joe Foreman, and for my broadcast partner Nick Bavona and our broadcast engineer Asanadu Afriju, we thank you all for watching, and be sure to tune in on Saturday as the Dolphins take on Malloy University in our soccer season finale. No playoff soccer here at home. Saturday marks our final broadcast of the season. If you can't join us here at Dolphins Soccer Park, be sure to tune in. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night.